There we go. Already got some folks in here. Love that. Who we got in here? Start the webinar. Hello, my friends. What's up? Let me get everybody invited here. How we doing today?
Oh, I'm hanging in here. Still got
Hanging
this
in
cough I
here?
can't get rid of.
Oh no, that's no good.
Well, I had COVID last week, so I'm like, and this cough is just left.
Oh no. COVID.
Yeah, my daughter came to visit me and brought it in here.
That's no good. My girlfriend had it several times back in 20, I guess once in 2020, once in 21. I hadn't had anybody close to me have it in a while. I know it's rough.
I'm like, you keep your germ infested ass at home.
I
Ah,
feel That's why I try to avoid
oh,
some food sometimes. All the kids be bringing the germs around. I'm like, little ones. What's up,
oh.
everybody? Jared, how's it going, man? Oh,
Hey, what's up, G Money?
how you doing, bro?
Doing well. How about you?
Man, I'm excited. We see everybody getting active, right? I got a chance last week to talk to, I think it was you that I spoke to, one of the first people I spoke to about how we were going to transition the payment structure, right? Because the reason why we originally had it that way is because we had a different dynamic with different partners and things have since pivoted. And I've begun to see more and more about what our role really is here, right? And it's to really be the back office. It's to be the systems and the processes and a lot of the things that most investors or wholesalers struggle with, already have built out. That's what I'm good at, right? And so instead of trying to focus so much on that, I'd rather teach you guys more how to get to the closing portion, right? So all you got to do now is do outreaches, whether it's from your own data. I know some of you are going on Zillow and finding opportunities. Some of you are working through the list of agents that we provided. We have a list of call center leads that have been generated from the virtual door knocker team. So lots of opportunity for you guys to be making moves wherever you want to. And now instead of worrying about so much, did I find this lead here from one of yours or did I find it there? What our focus is just helping you get to the first three deals with a 30% commission. So you make 30%. All you got to do is get the conversations going. We'll help with the closing as needed. We will help with the disposition. We'll handle really all of the backside stuff. After those first three deals, then it just goes to a 50-50 split. You guys focus on front side acquisitions. We focus on backside dispositions, and life gets easier. I just got off a call with the developers, going to be giving the CRM away to all of the Academy members and really looking, instead of just limiting it to 5 or 10 people, we're going to start to give away the CRM, or what we call the operating system, to more people. And in turn, just focus on being that touch point that helps get deals done. Right. And so as we get a little bit deeper in here, I'm going to talk a little bit about a deal that I was able to put together this weekend in about probably total time investment less than an hour, about $55,000 of commission essentially coming back. Very simple. I'm going to teach you guys how to do these kind of things from a lead gen side. That's really what my specialty has been. So I'm excited for this pivot. I see a lot more people picking up excitement and getting active. So can't wait to see people get to some deals.
Yeah, that's awesome. It really is. I did have a few questions about regarding the CRM.
Hit me.
Uh, so I get the name, the number, and the email, but I don't really know where these people are located, where these realtors are located. Um, should I just look
Yeah.
them up real quick before I call, or?
Well, that's what I guess somebody just told me this the other day for the first time. Did not realize that it was not separated or didn't tell you the state that they came from. That doesn't help us too much. So I'm working on a better direct to agent list that has that organized. You can absolutely look them up pretty easily if you wanted to call. Um, it it's kind of hard to not know where they're at. I fully understand you want to know which market you're calling into. So I'm also talking with the skip tracing team and seeing what it's going to cost. We probably will just need to pick a couple markets, um, and I'll skip trace based off of area codes in the list that we have. That'll be the only way I could try to target right now. But if you guys stumble across other sources of agent data, I'll gladly get whatever we need to get a little bit more targeted.
Okay. And do you recommend I make calls using my phone or just my laptop?
Well, so we can do local numbers within the CRM. We can add a local area code number if we need to do that. All the calls, I do recommend calling that way because all of the calls are recorded. So not only can you go back and listen to everything that was said, but we have that for review and improvement together as well. So I would recommend that. If we need to find a specific area code, let me or your team leaders know. We'll get that added for you.
Okay, cool. And should I make the calls using the dialer on my laptop or just use
Yeah,
the
so in
app?
the CRM, yeah, in the CRM, you can just press call and it'll ring through. So that's what I would do. You can
Okay.
also, if you prefer, if it's more comfortable, you can download the app and do it on your phone the same way.
Okay, cool.
Jalen, what's up, man?
Hey, how are you, Garrett?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. My question is, I was wondering how to get access to the academy.
Great. So did you already fill out the application link?
You sent me two links, but the last link didn't work, so I'm not sure if that one had the application on there.
Okay. So send me a message on Facebook so you come to the top of the inbox and I'll send you the link again.
Okay, but I'm sending it right now.
Cool, cool, cool. We got some folks jumping in here. BR, is that you, Bane? BR?
Yeah, you know it.
Hidden. You got a different name on here every time. How
Well,
you
it makes
doing?
me register every time, and I'm sick of typing it out, so I just put my initials in.
It makes you register for it every time?
Literally every single time.
Well, that's
Yeah,
Every
same here.
time.
look, everybody about to jump in on me. Look. Okay, well, that's annoying. I'm sure that's a setting feature. I'll try to figure out how. Let me put this in my notes. Um,
Your
fix.
chat is still disabled on this too.
Ah, this is why I need like a DJ. I need like a host, a MC, I should say. Somebody else that does these things. I just show up and talk. Somebody else do all the stuff. Let me turn the chat on so that attendees can chat with everyone. Let's see. All right, there we go. He has it active there. Devin, how you doing, man? You've been making some moves, talking to sellers, talking to agents, right?
Yeah, I've been calling up agents down in Atlanta. Been hitting a lot of voicemails this morning, so just leaving them messages saying, "Hey, I'm an investor and work with investors and looking out to see how we can close some deals."
Yeah, Monday morning's a hard time to get phone calls in. It's everybody's like chaotic running Monday morning, stressful commute kind of thing, So sometimes Monday might not be the best connection right early in the morning, but keep after it. And again, you're doing mostly agents, you said, right? But have you done any
Yeah,
direct?
I haven't done any direct to seller. Just been hitting the agents down in Atlanta. Since you said you wanted to start focusing more on Atlanta.
There we go. I do want to focus on Atlanta. Atlanta's a really good market that we have lots of network in. Also, all across the state of North Carolina. Charlotte, North Carolina is another really good one. Um, kind of around here in Florida. I mean, we generate leads for other people, and we have lots of people that are interested in Florida. It's obviously an interesting market on the buy and hold side. I'm like, do we want to buy anything here? Because you never know when you're going to get hit with a hurricane. I've had to evacuate twice over the past 4 weeks. So I'm like, is this something I want to deal with forever? I don't know about that. We'd rather just wholesale those ones. Let me drop the link here on Facebook. Let some people join. Terrell on Facebook said, what was your biggest obstacle starting in real estate? Great question. The biggest obstacle, so I'm going to answer this in two sides. So my biggest external obstacle that I faced in real estate was finding anybody that could keep up with the pace in which I do things. I kind of already came to the table in real estate with a lot of assets, a lot of resources on the lead gen side. Been running the digital marketing agency for a long time, so I knew how to generate leads. I had, prior to getting into real estate, had more than 200 call center agents over the past 2 years. Prior to that, with solar and roofing. So like I already had a lot going. And one of the things I faced externally was finding other people that could keep up with that. And that created some headaches for me. And so it's part of the reason why I'm here now doing this. And I'll kind of explain what that is because a lot of people, investors, or really just people overall in general, they're never trained on how to run a business, how to create the systems and processes that it really takes to scale. So when I come in and like, hey, I can generate leads, they're like, okay, cool, send them my way. They're thinking like, oh, I'm going to send them 1 or 2 leads a week. We generated 1,200 leads through the call center the first month that I did this. And we closed no deals because I didn't have anybody prepared to do that internally. And so I generate all these leads, and then we kept kind of getting screwed by other people that would say they were going to do some things and it just didn't happen. And so that was my biggest obstacle. And that's why I kind of pulled back a little bit and realized that my bigger opportunity here is to be the systems and processes, to be the back office for people that need that structure. Otherwise, I'm going to continue to run into this headache. And it's very, very difficult to hire a lot of people. So some people are like, oh, well, why don't you just grow your own wholesale company? Because it only takes about 30 days for you to train somebody, give them all the resources they need, and then they go do it by themselves. And so it's like very, very difficult to try to grow a large scale operation, in my opinion. So my better route was to partner with folks just like yourself and be the back office and be the one that can help supply the lead flow and build the systems that generate that. Be able to supply help with really every step of the way. We're partnering with top tier TC. Actually, they have an internship program where they need to do a certain number of deal packaging. So our academy members will also be working with top tier TC and one of their interns to get all of their contracts and stuff done. I'm going to continue to talk more about why that's valuable. They're going to come in and do some trainings as well on why it's important to do to work with a TC. I turn this on silent. So that's why I got here. So that was the biggest hurdle, the biggest obstacle that I faced getting in externally. Internally, the biggest obstacle that I faced in my own head in this was really fully understanding how easy it was or is to play this game with other people's money. Like being a marketer, wholesaling is not hard for me. Generating lead opportunities was never going to be a challenge for me. And I knew that, right? So like I wanted to get beyond wholesaling. I wanted and still am, and as we develop, continue to do this more at acquiring assets and actually growing a portfolio, actually doing the real estate stuff, not just the lead gen stuff that wholesaling tends to be. Wholesaling, much like my marketing agency career, is just a hamster wheel, right? Like you go get a client, you get a deal, and then you got to keep working hard for the next one over and over and over and over again. And there's never any rest. And I can tell you guys this for sure because I have not rested in a long, long time, generating the next deal, always trying to find it. It's, in my opinion, the entry that most people make because they want to get cash, but it's not where most people want to actually be at when it comes to real estate investing. So it took a little bit for me to really understand exactly how easy it is to get other people to fund these deals. There's all kinds of barriers in between, and you can overcome all of them. This is really what it means to be a deal maker, right? So for example, I don't have the money to buy this deal, right? But if you do your job, if you do it right, I should say, on the front side, where you find good leads, motivated sellers that are actually interested in moving forward. And then B, you're able to underwrite deals properly. This is probably the most important skill set that we will teach you at Deal Makers is how to underwrite a property so that when you do make offers, you might stand a chance to make some money, let alone lose some money. I can't tell you how many wholesalers bring us opportunities where they don't even realize they're going to have to bring cash, a significant amount of cash, to close this deal that they think they're going to get paid on. Right. So teaching you how to underwrite those deals is going to be a huge thing that we do. Once you do that properly and you know you have a good deal in front of you, it is like scary easy to find somebody else's money to buy that thing. Like I know a lot of you are listening to me like, shut up, Garrett. It's not that easy. You're G Money. You got the social, blah, 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 blah. I know people that don't have any of the shit that I have on social media, any of the identity or the brand of the G Money, blah, blah, blah. None of those things. Roman Katz, who you guys have got, some of the academy students have got to hear from directly in our deal maker sessions, was 18 years old when he first started doing outreach and generating those opportunities. He then was able to find private money to get the deals funded because he asked for it. He had a good deal. He was in the right places, connected to the right people. And he said, hey, I need this. And other people said, I'll give it to you. It is really, really that easy. And I always talk about the young hustlers and the young killers in this space because I was one of them, first off, like not in real estate, but I was gifted and a top performer in everything I ever did when I was young, but I never had this game, right? So when I see young folks killing it in this real estate space, I think it's hugely motivational to me and to anybody else out here, because if they can do it without all the life experience and all the sales skill set and without having done millions of dollars of revenue and blah, 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 then anybody can do it. Right. So if I'm like, when I connected with Roman and learned more about his journey, I'm like, yo, there is no reason why we can't begin to acquire these. Well, then it's like, I can't qualify for most of them. If the deal's good, well, I should say a lot of them anyway, the deal's good, you bring it to them, it's relatively easy. Let's say my credit's not good enough. I can't qualify for this. Okay. Well, then again, if it's a good deal, it's not too difficult to find somebody that wants to either partner on it or be a credit sponsor that you can eventually refinance out. So like there's all kinds of ways, which by the way, guys, I'm working on one of those deals currently. We're going to pull a credit sponsor in. They're going to qualify for the initial DSCR so that within 12 months, we can qualify for an actual standard bank mortgage at better rates. Boom. Now I just got to pay them when we refinance, right? So they'll make a big chunk when the difference, blah, 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 to not go into the deal. Point being, you can always find the resources that you need to put the deal together, and it doesn't have to come out of your pocket. Now, does that mean that you're going to make all these giant spreads that you see some people talk about? Probably not, right? What you got to be willing to do as a deal maker, especially a deal maker that's getting started with $0, is you got to be willing to take small pieces of as many deals as you can. I just got off a call with our development team, one of the guys, Mason. Shout out Mason if you're out there watching. We were talking a little bit about how some people struggle with imposter syndrome in this space because they feel like, I don't really even know how to do all of the deals, but I was able to connect this guy to that guy and I got paid, right? It's that easy, right? Let me give you guys a real life example. You might have saw me post about it this weekend. A couple weeks ago connected with a guy named Pat, another fellow sub 2 member. And he told me, hey, I'm looking to deploy some money into a multifamily property. This is what my buy box is, 600K or less, seller finance, total price around 4 million or less, blah, blah, blah. He gave me his whole buy box. I said, cool, no problem. Let me ask the community. Guarantee I'll be able to find something. Give me a little bit of time. It took about 8 days, probably 8 days, maybe 10 days. I didn't count, of me posting maybe 3 times about it. And I had probably 40 deal opportunities sent to me. I found the one that I got that really, really fit his buy box. I showed it to him. He said, I love it. Let's make it happen. I said, you cool with a 3% connector fee? No problem. Boom. Now we pass it along. I didn't call that seller. I didn't talk to an agent. I didn't lock anything up myself. I didn't put any money into it. I didn't underwrite the property. I just had the guy that she needed. The wholesaler was a female, Samantha. I had the guy that she needed. Boom, deal made. And I want you guys to see how easy that is. It's truly not any more complicated. I'm not holding back some secret sauce that you're going to go get there and you're going to try to, and you're like, oh, well, I don't know. It's just really that easy. You get after it, you find good opportunities, you connect good opportunities to people that have money, and you put yourself right in the middle. And this is how you play this connector game early on. Once you get better, you can learn more. You can develop an expertise in one lane, right? Or not. You can just keep doing this connector game and just make money in the middle, and everybody will still love you, right? Because you're adding value to both sides. When you connect, they win, you win. That's why you get paid, just like that, right? So was a kind of a hurdle for me, I guess I should say, in understanding again how easy that was, and then how to approach that to continue to thought out further for you guys. Let me take a drink real fast because I already know the next question. The next question is, well, how do we find the private money lenders? How do we find the people that have money? Where do we go find these people? And there's a lot of different ways. You probably see a ton of people on Facebook that post and ask for a private money lender. And you probably see people in the comments on those posts saying, hey, I DM'd you or send me the details. I'm going to roll the dice and say little to none of those deals ever actually come to fruition. Very few people, very few that have money to invest in real estate are either just sitting there scrolling, looking for some random person to give $200,000 for a flip. Very few people are doing that, in case you were wondering. Like they're like, let me go decide where I want to risk $200,000 on somebody I don't know yet. That doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. So if you are just a random Joe Blow out on the street to this person, and they have no idea who you are, and you post in a Facebook group and you're asking for money, the likelihood of you getting it is only slightly higher than zero. So that's really not the approach to go. Now, that does not mean that you won't develop private money relationships via social media, but this is what it looks like. Right now, this morning, a lot of you that are on here and are listening on Facebook saw my post in Pace's creative group. I do this every once in a while to get new members in. And that was first approved in Pace's group like 1:30 a.m. my time, right? Like they're on the West Coast. So it went out in the middle of the night. I woke up at 3:30 a.m. my time, and I had a text or a DM in my inbox that said, hey man, I've got like $400,000 that I want to deploy, and I would love to talk about how we could do some deals together. I didn't go ask him for this money, but I have spent a long time developing my identity, my brand, my connection to people here so that they know what I'm doing. They know what steps we're taking. They know how active we are. So when they see me make a post about, hey, I'm bringing this many more wholesalers in to help them learn, they came to me because they saw an opportunity to deploy capital. This is how you leverage social media to find money. Relationships and branding. You see people that do a lot of deals begin to post a lot on social media because then it builds connection and it creates more opportunity for other people to bring you the money. Now, early on, you get a good deal and it needs to get funded. You bring it to somebody like me and we will work backwards. I have a network that I've already built so that you don't have to do it quite as much. But for those of you that really want to succeed and excel at this, you have to be developing some kind of personal brand identity online if you expect people to put money into your deals. Otherwise, how are they going to find you? How are they going to know what you're doing? And how are they going to know what you need if you're not sharing yourself out there, right? So that's the question that I know always comes next is, where do we find them, G? That's the first easiest one is begin to share and people will come find you. Another one, again, same thing, but in real life is go to networking events. Go to in-person events where you can meet people that are doing deals in your area and build relationships. That's it. That's it. You go start talking to people in your local market and you might find, like, for example, right? Like I go to the Tampa Sub 2 meetups. Actually, we'll begin to start leading them a little bit more here soon. Okay, cool. I go meet some people there. They're like, oh, I'm looking for this kind of property in this area. And then I go meet some wholesalers that are looking to learn and want to generate more leads. And then I go find people that are looking for business acquisitions. And so I'm helping them build the lead gen system for that, right? So I go to in-person events to build those connections. And those people say, hey, I want to put my money here, or hey, I'm looking to do that kind of deal. And as the middleman, so to speak, as the deal maker, I got to just take really good notes. I just got to know this person needs that, and this person needs that. Let me get real with y'all, right? I came up, so to speak, in cannabis. Lived in Los Angeles for a long time. After leaving the gym industry, I moved to Los Angeles, and there was a whole lot of cannabis companies that could grow good product, but had zero way to separate themselves from every other guy that could grow good products. So I helped launch a couple brands. Tropicana by Biscotti Boys is the one I did the most work with. And one of the reasons why a lot of what I do now, I learned from there, is because what you learn is, what does my buyer want? What is it that my buyer is looking for? And then how can I go over here and get the good product, right? Because I grew exactly 0 plants ever in my life. never had to. Why would I do that? I don't need to. I know that there's people that fly in from all over the country to come buy stuff in Los Angeles, and I'm G Money. So they're like, we're friends, we're boys. I'm meeting people, we're going out to dinner, whatever. I'm the client guy. We build clients. And all of a sudden, I know what my buyer needs. Right now, what do I do next? I go to the supplier. Hey, Mr. Grower, Mr. Farmer, this is what we need. Boom. And then I slap the logos on it. I mean, that's it, right? That's really what it comes down to. It doesn't matter where you're learning these skills. Absolutely, Jalen. It's universal, right? So if you don't know all about real estate and you don't know all the ins and outs, what you can do is be a connector. Find your buyers, find people that need something, and then go find the others. Or focus on lead gen and work backwards. Either way, it all works out. So I appreciate you. I think Terrell, was that the one that asked the question? Yeah, appreciate you asking that, giving me a chance to share some of that, because that's definitely some hurdles that I've faced. Any other questions y'all that are in here with me got? Add people to talk here as we have more people join. Tremaine, what's up, man? Can you talk? Put you on the spot a little bit. The internal factor that stopped you, man. One thing, let me tell you, Jalen, there ain't nothing that can stop your boy. Internal, external, don't matter. I wish sometimes I could, but there's nothing that can stop your boy. I am very, very in tune with myself at this point in my life. I was not that way as a young man. I struggled a lot with things that I didn't know that I was struggling with at the time. But nowadays, as I meditate daily and take the time to connect to source and really find my connection to myself, right? Whether you call it God or the universe or source, it doesn't matter. You know, finding a position of balance allows me to operate, yes, this is lives. It allows me to operate from a position of balance, right? So then there's absolutely nothing that can hurt your boy, right? Like, because I know myself and I know what I put in on the daily and I know all of those things, it doesn't matter about any of the external stuff. So internally, I'm pretty lit up all the time. I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I'm full of energy all day long. Can't ever shut it off. Up at 3:30 and running all day long. So I don't have too much that actually, I would say, stops me, Jalen. Is there something specifically that you feel like you struggle with?
Honestly, just trying to develop the confidence in myself to make sure I keep things going and having those conversations and things like that. And just having confidence in the fact that I know what I'm doing, you know?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's something that many, many people struggle with, is the confidence. It's something that I was blessed enough to have this accidental, unending well of self-confidence to the point of ego in my early 20s, right? Especially being super fit in bodybuilding. Like, it's something ego is something that I struggle with quite a bit for a lot of my 20s. And now, as I lose my train of thought, because what the hell was I just saying? Confidence. So now as I see other people that struggle with self-confidence, it's always been a battle for me, because I'm like, what do you mean? You know, like, what? Like, you struggle with self-confidence, you don't believe in yourself? But I realized that it's got a lot to do with the fact that we listen to the external world, right? Doubts and lack of confidence, I truly believe, almost never come from internal sources, and they almost always come from your mama or your auntie or your uncle who's like, oh, you shouldn't do that. Go get you a real job. Or like my dad, who at 23 years old, like, I was basically making as much or slightly more money then because I was running the gym. And he was like, I was like, I'm quitting and I'm doing my entrepreneur thing. And they're like, what the, like, no, you're not. Like, it's a terrible idea. But like, if a normal person would have heard these things, they would have felt self-doubt. They would have questioned themselves. They would have worried. I was like, and just went and did it anyway, right? That's just who I always was. And now in retrospect, I wish I would have kept my job a little bit longer, right? I wish I would have learned how to be a little bit more patient. But when you're struggling with confidence, I would say you should check, what are you listening to externally? Who are you listening to? Are you listening to voices of people that have done what you're trying to do and have accomplished what you're trying to accomplish? Or do they have what you're trying to have? Are they at a point in life where you want to be? If the answer to these questions are not yes, then smile and nod and just box it up and throw that shit away. It's straight like that. Because the self-confidence issue only comes when you're like, oh man, like, I don't know, like they're right. Maybe I don't know everything I need to know yet. Maybe I should not do this yet. Maybe I should wait and I should go watch 17 more hours of videos so that I know that everything's perfect. That's just an excuse to not get active. If you're struggling with self-confidence, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago when my man Eddie jumped on and Bain was on for this episode as well. We talked about affirmations, morning affirmations. So one of the things that I do during my morning meditation is a list of affirmations that allow me to align my mind with what I want it to be aligned with. So I want to listen to the things that I want to listen to, right? So let me see if I can list them off, anything that applies with self-confidence. So one for me is I am self-validated, right? This is one that I use. I am self-validated, right? I don't need any external validation to know who I am, period. That's it, right? So for you, the list of affirmations probably looks and sounds different. You probably see people like talk to themselves in the mirror and shit like that. Like it's not like, if that's what you want to do, do that. That's I'm not saying
I'm the
it's
guy that talks to himself in the mirror. I'll be 100%.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing at all, but for those of you that are like, I'm not fixing to talk to myself in the mirror, you don't have to do it that way. I tend to sit down in meditation, and I share this all the time. Almost never, for most people, do you sit down with your eyes closed and your brain on. Most of the time, when people close their eyes, they go to sleep and everything's out. Never do you allow your brain, I shouldn't say never, most people don't ever allow their brain to function, their mind to run at a high level consciously, right? So I say those kind of affirmations to myself in my meditation point. Wherever you feel comfortable or confident, do those things. But you have to do it. You have to do it with confidence. And then the next step is take action. Here's something I learned early in my career is that success rewards action. When you take action, it begins a cycle that creates confidence. People wait to feel confident to take action, when in turn, you should take action to begin the wheel to spin. Because when you take action, you create momentum. When you create momentum, you create success. When you create success, you create confidence. And then you take more action. And this is how the cycle works, right? So if you're ever feeling like I'm not confident, take some action in some way. And look, it doesn't even have to mean, all right, think about this. I'm going to give you guys some game right here. They don't have to be the same thing. Doesn't have to be the same thing. So you're struggling to make phone calls. You're like, I'm not sure what I should do. Go take action and do something productive real fast. Go fold the laundry. Go change the dishwasher. Go check a box and then take action, right? Because you're going to pivot your mind into a different setting, away from the thing that's scary. You're going to distract yourself and take action. Now you got momentum. Keep it carrying, right? Does that make sense for you guys? Let's see what we got here.
100%.
Competence leads to confidence and repetition leads to confidence. Dude, phenomenal. I got a quote. I don't want to spit it wrong, so I'm gonna bring it back to you guys soon. But that's spot on about the cycle of confidence. And the more that you repeat something, the more confidence you have because you've done it more, right? It applies to literally everything. Like I go hit the punching bag all the time. When I first started, I was a big, bulky, not very agile bodybuilder, right? And so I would sometimes, if there was ever an area that I felt insecure, it's when I would go in the gym and there's guys like, they're hitting all kinds of stuff and I'm like in slow motion, right? And like, I didn't know, I wasn't good. I didn't have the reps yet. But now several years later, almost 4 years later, people walk up to me all the time, they're like, when's your next fight? And I'm like, what? And I'm like, I'm just out here for cardio, baby. I'm not. It's my money maker up here. We're not doing none of that. So it's just funny. You have to put in the reps to really get the confidence in yourself. Hey, there's my man, Eddie. Got customers. Love to see it. My man's always doing deals, slinging car deals out there for sure. Amanda, I see your comment as well. Dopamine generating activities. Absolutely. And another thing that is beneficial for me anyway, is doing the hard stuff early in the morning. It's about getting the dopamine and everything, like your blood and your brain pumping. Getting a workout in and like facing the hard stuff early in the day also makes everything else easier later in the day. So if you're like, hey, I'm struggling with confidence, go to the gym. Start your day. Maybe don't even go to the gym. Go for a walk. Go do anything. It doesn't matter. Go start with some physical movement. Get your blood flowing. And again, you're starting that cycle of action and it will begin to pay off. Eating the frog was the next words out of my mouth. That's funny that you say that. Eat the frog first. That's the way to do it. see, scroll through some of these other comments. Bravery is not lack of fear. Oh, but taking action despite fear. Absolutely. Here we go. Anybody else got any other questions, comments? Let's keep it rocking. We got some time left here today. I already broke down the deal that we did with the connector fee. Got another follow-up call with a potential credit sponsor for that horse farm. What's up, Bang?
Yeah, what's up, man? I just wanted to kind of talk on that like confidence thing. I would say the more like once you like really start actually taking action on things that are like scary, right? Like they're scary at the beginning and then you do it more and more and it becomes less scary and eventually it's just routine, right? I would say the more you start to recognize that like fear, it's usually the thing that you most have to do. So once you start leaning into that, it like you'll start recognizing that feeling and leaning into it because you then trigger a response in your brain that triggers reward. So you're trying to switch that from like a fear-based reaction to like, oh, I like if I lean into this, something good will happen eventually.
That's it. That's it. I actually have a post typed up to kind of talk about similar thing. I love that. Jalen, you got another question, man?
Yes, sir. I was really I was about to ask, well, in that case, do you think it's a time that me and you could set up where you're free and you can maybe critique some of my calls?
Absolutely. So we do a lot of regular sessions here. Once we get you fully into the academy, first
Mhm.
off, I think does a daily dial in the mornings where you guys can get in and get active. And then we will absolutely do call reviews with you for sure. We do deal maker sessions. I've been waiting for more people to bring us these call recordings. It's been taking a little bit of time to get everybody fully dialed in. But now that everybody's got access to the CRM, we'll get you this soon, Jalen. And then absolutely, dude, that's what it's all about. So we can't improve unless we listen and actually repeat. This is why the call recordings are very important.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Well, I definitely would appreciate that. Oh, while it's on my mind, could you I'll text you actually,
Perfect.
just so I can get that link to apply for the academy.
Yeah, I saw your message. I'll get it to you here when we get done.
Oh, okay, bet.
What else y'all got for me? Who else we got in here I can put on the spot here that I haven't spoken to? Is this Rainy? Is that how I say your name there? Did I say
Yep.
that?
Hi, Gary.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. Tell me, how can we help you? Where are you at in your real estate journey?
So I started out trying to do wholesale. I'm trying to put my camera on.
Oh,
Is it? That's okay though. But oh, okay.
it might make you leave. It might give you 30 seconds to jump back in.
How long are you?
Oh, we're losing you.
Okay, got it.
There we go.
Hi.
Hey there.
So how long have you been in Sub 2?
I joined Sub 2 in January.
Oh wow, good for you. I've been in like 3 years.
Yeah? How's it been?
And haven't. I had done one deal, but I just started doing EMD,
Okay.
connecting, just like what you're doing. So I saw you. Did you post something about
Helping people.
shoots? Huh? About
helping people.
was it you that had not a calendar, but a calculator?
Not recently. I haven't shared a calculator or anything.
Okay, wasn't you then? So I must have seen your lives, and I wanted to join because I'm kind of doing the same thing with connecting, being a connector. I've been a connector for a while now, but I'm trying to follow somebody else who's done it and look like you've done it.
Got it.
So
Let me
any
ask
kind
you,
of, yeah.
you said you've been in for 3 years and you said you've done a couple deals. What do you feel like has held you back from really picking up momentum?
My confidence, definitely.
Confidence.
Yeah. So that's why I just started. I don't know if you've seen my comment. I just started a challenge for myself. I'm doing a 30-day challenge.
Great.
And going to the gym every day
Love that.
and posting. I don't like, I'm so uncomfortable on camera. So I just started doing videos and I'm on my 4th day.
Well, first off, shout out to you for taking action. It's awesome to hold yourself
Thanks.
like that. So a couple things. Let's break it down. First off,
Mhm.
back fact that you're putting yourself out there on camera is great because it allows other people to help you hold accountable as well. That's
Yeah.
the biggest reason why I share what I do with fitness nowadays is not because I want y'all to care what I look like, but because when
Mm.
I showed up, you guys know that I'm not full of shit. That's the reason why I share the way I do on fitness. Because now all
Right.
of you know me as that. And so if you catch me slacking for a week and I'm not there, then I'm spitting something I'm not about, right? And so when you are out there like that, you're able to be held more accountable. The second thing is the fitness will also, as we just kind of touched on, tie into your confidence. It's going
Yeah.
to just naturally build your confidence levels. So when you say you've struggled with confidence, are you referring to like talking to sellers or what has held you back in that light?
Um, yeah, talking to sellers especially. So that's why when I mentioned earlier I was on doing wholesaling, I started off making phone calls to sellers, and of course I went to the hardest. To me, it's the hardest foreclosures. Oh my
Oof.
gosh, they're tough.
Hmm.
So calling them and then I took a lot of stuff personal, and I was like, I can't do it. So I gave up this wholesale, but I did a couple. See, I'm originally from Hawaii, and I just moved to Reno. And how I did my first deal was when I got when I met a meetup in person,
Nice.
and they actually helped me help me hop on board with them, and I got my first wholesale deal.
Love that.
Yeah.
So you're absolutely right. You did not exactly pick the easiest route to get started, right? So first off,
Mhm.
as someone who has done years of direct to seller, direct to homeowner marketing, I can tell you that that is a very emotional thing. I don't know what it is
Oh
about
yeah.
calling somebody at home in general, but instantly people have like this defensive nature of picking up the phone. And then when you factor in the
Soft.
pre-foreclosure, that's a whole nother set of pain points. You know, they're
Soft.
feeling stressed. So
Yeah.
you didn't pick the easiest route, but that's okay. A lot of people go that route. I had a couple other people tell me this recently, and then a few weeks later, they came back to me and they said, I need something faster, right? They're like, I need something
Mm.
that can get me there faster, right? And so, in my opinion, the fastest way to start to find deals, especially on the creative side, if you're in sub two, is going to be direct to agent outreach. Two reasons. The likelihood of an agent being a asshole to you, they might be an egotistical prick sometimes, but the likelihood of you getting
Mhm.
cussed out is a lot lower than the likelihood of you getting cussed out when you're calling somebody in pre-foreclosure. It's just the facts of it. Their job is to answer the phone as a real estate agent. Their job is to sell this property. If you're coming to them with a legitimate offer, they have to show it to them. So come with enough knowledge to present an offer, right? And so the thing about it with the agent side of it is it's as much about connecting as it is anything else. You're not really going to go into like in heavy underwriting. You're not really going to go into a negotiation like that. What you're going to do is structure an offer, and we will help you do this, right? Help you structure offers so that we know that you're getting into deals at a point that's good. And then it's just sending them the offer. It's not really the
Right.
back and forth, right? So then it becomes a numbers game. If I'm willing to call enough agents, and let's say I know I got to call 50 agents to find 5 good leads, and out of 5 good leads, I'll find one deal that we get, one contract that we get. That means how many times a week, how many times a day are you willing to talk to 50 sellers or 50 agents? I'm sorry. That's what it comes down to on the agent side is like you're going to quickly be able to find your KPIs of how many people you got to talk to build relationships, right? One of the reasons why I think that it's important to have different roles in this game is because, for example, if you're really good at building rapport with somebody and getting to know somebody, then don't go into it as much about the real estate deal specifically. Look at, I'm trying to connect with local real estate agents. This is what I do. I'm an investor. I work with a team of investors. Just wanted to say hello. Just wanted to get to know you, see if there's any way that we could supply value. You know, lead with the value that you can feel confident in, and don't worry about the other stuff yet. Now they're going to say, oh, you know what? I don't have anything for you right now, right? No problem. If you ever come across any sellers that maybe need a creative solution or they're facing pre-foreclosure, they have no equity, they need to get out fast, would love to get connected to them because that's actually how I help people. Now, 3 weeks later, they're like, oh, this seller wants to do something. I can't help them list it because XYZ. Here, call this person. right? So you just connected first and they brought you a deal eventually. You don't always have to go straight for the deal, right? So if that's your role, if that's your dynamic with the connector, lean in on that. You heard me, I'm not sure, you might have heard me talk about it a minute ago. I am a master super connector. I've been playing this game for years. When I was 18, 19-ish years old, I went through some multi-level network marketing little trials, and I never really took any of them that serious. But what it really taught me early in life was to meet people and learn how to network. And when I learned how to network, then it's just, again, about finding, I know this person that needs that person, but they don't know each other. They're floating over here, oh, totally individual. If I just bring them together, they're going to both be excited. And for that, we reap a value in return. That's just basically how it goes. So that's going to be so much easier for you than calling sellers in pre-foreclosure. So much easier, right? Like there's people in sub two that don't even call the agent. They just blast them out an LOI via email. Well, sometimes it's like literally anything that they can do to get out. And then you're just like, how many do I have to blast before I can get some positive response, right? So if I think you responded to me this morning, if you're interested in getting in the Deal Makers Academy, we definitely can help you out, especially if you're a sub two student and you haven't been able to pick up that momentum that you want to. We can help supply that, right? I've learned that there's a reason why real estate agents need a real estate broker, but real estate investors don't have a solution like that as of yet until I got here, because that's what we're going to build really. And our building is being built, is actively growing, is truly being framed as a brokerage for investors. So when you need help with contracting, help with negotiation, help with finding the capital, help with whatever, this is what we're here for. So that's what I want you to know. Is like, if we can help you, let's get locked in. Bain, one of our team leaders, that I think he's still on here. Yeah, I'll get you introduced to him and get you locked in and have you fill out some information. And then from there, just about getting active, right? And sometimes having others that hold you accountable will help make that easier for you too.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. Thank you very much, Garrett.
I appreciate you jumping on here. Let's see here. I'm gonna move you back to just an attendee real quick. Let's see what we got here in the chat. Can you repeat the wording you just used when talking to an agent and they don't have anything for me right now? You said something like, hey, if you have any sellers that need help with creative financing or blah, 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 keep me in mind. Okay, so the likelihood of me getting it exactly the same is very low, but let's see what we got. So what I would say is to offer value, right? So if you ever run into any sellers that have low equity or have pain points where they need to sell fast, these are the creative solutions that I help people. I would probably avoid creative finance specifically as a terminology early on, because so many agents are trained to be like, that's a scam. That's a scam. No, sub two, that's a scam. So like, I probably wouldn't say creative financing. I probably wouldn't say sub two. Seller financing, there might be a little bit more open to, but I would really just lean in on offering solutions. If you run into any headache properties that you're unable to sell on the market, low equity, rundown properties, whatever it might be, let me know. I'll be glad to help take those off your hand and get you paid still. Something along those lines. But you're right, Jalen. It's never going to be an exact script per se, but you get the overall point of what we're trying to get to there. You should be able to kind of tweak it and make it your own, Rebecca. So let's see, we got about 10 minutes left. Any other questions or things people want to run down? We got some opportunity here. No? Let's see. That's all the things from the chat too. Let me check the Facebook chat. I always forget I can get comments over here on Facebook too. Let's see what we got. Do you wholesale in Florida? We do wholesale in Florida. Actually, we wholesale all over the place if it makes sense to. It's all about being able to find a buyer. How do I get access to the CRM? Rebecca, if I haven't already sent you the information, send me a message on Facebook. I'll get you the links to apply, and then we'll get the team to set things up for you. And for those of you that are already active, let's try to get these deals done, right? I know we've gotten some kinks worked out. We've got all the team leaders in place. People are ready to help assist you get deals closed as needed. but we're ready to rock. Those that have taken action, Cam, I don't think he's been on here. He started taking action from the jump. He was getting rocking even before we got connected, and he's been able to keep it moving, getting closer to deals than he's ever been. I think we should lock one up for him this week. Devin's been making connections. I know some of the members of Dream Team as well have been doing outreach in Louisiana and in Illinois. So it really doesn't matter as long as the city has, or the town, depending on how small, has at least, let's say, 10,000 people or more. Generally, we can run some kind of strategy, whether it's a novation or whatever. So even if you want to focus on your local market that may be a little bit smaller, let me know. We can still focus on where you're at, because it's good for you to be able to walk into properties, shake hands in person. I'm actually going to go to Orlando this week and sit down with a seller that we're trying to get a Morby method deal put together for. I think I really, really want him to seller finance a portion, but he's dead set on not doing it. So I said, well, you know what? Let me just come see you in person and see what that looks like. So figure we would go from there. Let's see here. Any other messages? We'll have a couple guests on later this week. Hans, my man Hans will be joining us. Anderson is his last name. He has, I think he said he's done more than 100 deals via pay per lead, cold callers that he's hired, all kinds of different sources. He's got a lot of experience as a closer. He's going to be jumping on and spitting some game this week. Can you help me with properties in Wichita, Kansas? I have a property that the owner has owned for many years, and it's been sitting vacant for over 10 years. And he mentioned to his neighbor that he might just sell it via auction. Okay, so sure, let's pull it up and see what it looks like. If you want to send me the details of that as well, we can underwrite it and comp it together. Get an idea of what it might be worth. First off, if it's been vacant for 10 years, my first question is, why has it been sitting vacant for that long? Like, what's the emotional relationship to this property where he would let it sit like that and just keep paying for it, losing money on it? It's been vacant for that long. And then if he mentioned to his neighbor that he wants to sell it at auction, which means he's obviously motivated, but we don't want it to go to an auction. I don't know that anybody really sells their house at an auction unless it's in or like going to foreclosure. So hopefully that's not the case for him. If it is, there's some solutions we can find from there. It's paid off years ago. Well, that sounds like a great opportunity for seller finance, like a phenomenal opportunity for seller finance. If he got 100% equity and it's sitting vacant, he's spending money on taxes and stuff every month still to keep the property there, just to be there, not to mention keeping the property like upkept. So let's talk more about it. Shoot me the deals, and then if we need to schedule a time, we can get somebody on a call with him and see if we can't make it happen. It was in a trust or something for a while. He lives out of town. Yes, those are like the exact type of people that we target a lot of times. Tired landlords, people that are what some people call zombie. Well, I guess it might not be a zombie. It might not be run down, but vacant for a long time is a great opportunity to present that. Could you explain the differences of seeing someone in person versus on the phone? Absolutely. So when you are on the phone, obviously there's still a barrier of some sort, but when you see somebody in person, you can use your physical energy differently, right? So I can come in with a higher tonality and I can, be looser with my physical body energy so it portrays another message, right? So it also builds more trust. So I can come in and I can portray who I am better. And in turn, they can trust me better because we're able to connect with energies. And then what you're going to want to do is the same thing, really. It's just easier to do in person, and that's build a relationship, right? Ask questions to people. Find out what they need. What are they trying to accomplish? What are their pain points? How can you help? What are they looking for? If you can find the answer to some of these questions, then eventually it'll trigger in your mind, oh, I can help with this, or oh, I can bring that, or maybe I can hit Garrett up and he can do this, whatever it might be, right? So it's just a matter of, again, building relationships. It's something that you will hear me talk about all the time in this connector game. It's all about the relationships. These calls are recorded, absolutely. And once we get you to the academy, you'll have the full library of all the ones that we have done previously as well. So there's a ton of them. I've been going live every day since, I think, August, I believe, maybe even late July. I've been doing it for a while now, bringing in more and more other leaders as well. So we're going to get more sessions. Like I said, Bane's been doing the daily dials. We're going to be doing deal maker sessions Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. I'll be bringing in special guest speakers and other people to just really add some value to those that are already fully into our academy here. And other than that, it's just about really doing the deals. You guys will have all the knowledge, all this value that you need, but like it again, it's just really about talking to people more than anything else. Yes, I want you to feel confident in the knowledge, but so many people slow themselves down by trying to like repeatedly learn it over and over again and like really, 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 really hammer it home. And like just instead, the flip side is I see people that know nothing get out there, make phone calls, get somebody to be like, you know what, I got this. And then they come back and be like, hey, I got this lead. And they're super excited. They don't know anything about how to do with it. But they're still going to be able to get a deal done if it's a good enough lead that we can piece together as a deal. So which one's better? Somebody that takes action and knows nothing but finds that dumb luck, or somebody that sits and spins their wheels trying to master everything before they begin? Because it's never going to happen. Well, y'all, I'm excited for what we got going with Deal Makers. I've got another call here at 1 o'clock to jump into, so I'm going to wrap this thing up for us. Any other questions or comments that you guys have, feel free to shoot me a message on Facebook. If you need anything, either myself or my assistant Aaliyah will help you. If you want to join into the academy, let's get you applied. Let's get you locked in. At this point, we're not really limiting it to any specific number of students or investors that we're bringing on board. It's really just about us, again, playing that broker role where you need some kind of back office structure to really learn the ropes early on. We've already got that built out. Let us help you get those first few deals done, and let's keep growing together, guys. So I hope you have a great rest of your Monday. I want to see everybody get some deals done this week. So let me know if you have leads that you want us to help push across. We can talk about that as well, even outside of the academy. Either way, I'm grateful for those of you that have came and spent some time here with us. Look forward to it again tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern time, guys. Talk to you soon. Peace.